Guys, we're going to read chapter 43 in the bridge home. Here we go. Our Father. The next morning, I got a visit from our Father. Definitely not the one in heaven. How did he know where to find me? I asked Selena Auntie when she told me he was here to see me. And then the answer came to me. My letter. Probably, Selena Auntie said, you don't have to see him unless you want to. I'll see him, I said. Do you want me or someone else to stay with you? I'm not scared. If I didn't meet him face to face, I'd be afraid he'd try to track me down some other day when I wasn't in such a safe place. I'll meet him on my own. As you wish. Selena Auntie motioned at the room where he was waiting. We won't let him take you away by force. But of course, if you decide you want to leave, that's up to you. Head high, neck maybe a little too stiff, I strode in like a princess. What do you want? I said to Appa. He held out a package, a gift, like he thought it was enough to win me over. I looked at the dark hair sprouting in bushes along his fingers. I could feel his hand coming down across my cheek, whip fast, leather tough. I don't want it, I said. I don't want anything from you. His eyes glittered with anger. You're my daughter, he said. Mine. I can take the two of you home whether you want to or not. You can't, I said. Not the two of us. Ruku's dead. What? He stared and then whispered, You're lying. No, I said. I wouldn't lie about something like that. A strange sound came from him, a kind of growl that was anger and pain mixed up. His hand actually trembled. He let the package flop onto Selena Auntie's desk. Maybe all that Selena Auntie and Arul had said about God and Yusu had made some kind of difference because all of a sudden I felt sorry for him. The way he stooped, his arms hanging limp. On the street, I'd seen dogs fighting, snarling, ripping at one another until one gave up and tucked its tail between its legs in surrender. That was what Appa reminded me of, with his head hanging and his chin almost touching his chest. Seeing him standing that way, I knew I was larger than he would ever be. For his pitiful sake, I ripped open the package he brought. Inside there were two things, a hand-carved wooden pendant and a hand-carved wooden doll, just like Maripachi. You made Ruku a new doll? I couldn't believe it. But there she was, in my hands, Maripachi's twin. He must have made the old one too, I realized. Yes, I made it for her. He knelt and put his hands together. Come home, please. Give me another chance. I'll never, never, never hurt you again. He shook with sobs. I put my hand on his shoulder. Rivers of tears coursed down, crooked across his cheeks, his stubble-covered chin. A flash flood of forgiveness rose in my chest. It was a strange kind of forgiveness, mixed with desperate pity and hope, a flood that threatened to drown me if I didn't fight it. At last I understood how Amma felt, why she gave in every time said he was sorry, understood his eagerness to piece together her shattered image of him, her need to keep hoping things would get better somehow. She must have felt just as sorry for him as I felt when I saw him kneeling on the ground. Because at that moment he truly meant it. He really wanted to be a better man. I almost did what Amma would have done. I almost gave up the freedom and the future I could have. That's when I heard your voice, Ruku. No, you said. Stay, Fiji. Your voice was like the beam of a lighthouse. It's a good simile. That's saying that Ruku's voice that she was hearing in her head like gave her direction, kind of like a lighthouse would, because it's comparing it to a lighthouse. Okay. Cutting right through my fog of pity. No. My voice was calm. My whole body was calm. This is home now. Don't be angry. I'll give you anything, anything. My future is here, Appa. His knuckles clenched and then unclenched. Tell Amma I love her and don't ever lay a finger on her again. Yes, he bowed his head. And I'll come again to visit you. Bring her, I said. Bring her to visit me. I promise, he said. For the first time in what felt like forever, the touch of his rough hand was gentle on my chin. He held it, held my gaze. Then he let go and walked out the door, his steps measured, his footfall softened. I hope he'll keep his promise, but even if he doesn't, his visit left me feeling better. He took away some of my anger. I think that had been pressing down on my chest. Now that I had let my anger go, it felt like my heart had more room. After Appa left, I marched up to Selena Auntie, who was waiting anxiously to hear how it had all gone. You know that boarding school for girls, the one you wanted to send me to? I said. I'll go. Yes. She slammed a fist into her palm. That's wonderful. You'll be so happy there. I'm so proud of you. Then the two of us just sat there and smiled at each other. At dinner, I told Arul and Muthu about Appa's visit and how much better I'd behaved than I'd ever thought I could. There's hope for you yet, Arul said. Yisu is getting through. No, I said. It was Ruku's voice I heard in my head, not Yisu's. Not in your head, Arul said. You heard her voice in your heart. Waiting for him to lecture me about you being in heaven, I chewed a mouthful of rice. But Arul only said, if you really think the only place Ruku's still alive is inside you, you know what you need to do, right? What? You got to start loving yourself like you loved her, like you were able to allow yourself to even love your dad. Not sure if that was love exactly, I said. Anyway, there's something else I need to tell you too. What? Muthu said. I'm going to that other school Selena Auntie talked about. Muthu stuck his tongue out at me, but Arul whooped. Yes, Arul said. You're going to do so much with your life. What if I'm not good enough? I voiced my fear. Then you can come back here, Muthu said. I hope you're not good enough. Don't be silly, Arul said. She'll become a teacher like she wanted, and she'll build a school for kids like us. Who will you name your school after? Muthu asked me, as if I were building one already. You should name it after our father, Arul said. Remember, our father, who art Narayan, hallowed be his name. I was so amazed to hear him joking about God that I said, totally serious, I'll name it after you. Arul, Ruku, and Muthu, and me. After me? Muthu grinned. And I guess I better start paying attention to my lessons. All right, and that's the end of chapter 43. Our exit ticket question is, how did VG's father's visit affect her? It actually had a very, well, I wonder what you think. It had a, in my opinion, very positive effect on her because she was able to forgive him. But that didn't mean that it was okay what he did. It just meant that she was at peace with it. And then because of that, coming to peace, she decided to go to the all girls school. So in a way, it was kind of like a cause and effect because she came to peace with her life, then she was able to make the choice to go to the other school to make her life better. All right, I look forward to seeing what you write on your exit tickets, and I will see you for chapter 44. It's the last chapter. All right, bye.